Say goodbye to your credit card rewards. Greedy corporate mega stores, led by Walmart and Target, are pushing for a law in Congress to take away your hard-earned cash back and travel points to line their pockets. The Durbin-Marshall credit card bill would enact harmful credit card routing mandates that would end credit card rewards as we know it. If you love your credit card rewards, tell your lawmakers, hands off my rewards. Tell them to oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill.
Hey, it's Kim Commando Today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to commando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. I thought we'd kick things off today with a PSA.
Ooh,
a public service announcement. Yes. Are you ready for it?
Mm-hmm.
High voltage power lines are dangerous.
God, I should write this down.
Yes, that's right. In Portland, Oregon, someone climbed up a high voltage power line to take a selfie, got electrocuted, and fell 40 feet.
What a dope.
I got a good idea. How about if I climb the power tire?
I may get 14 or 15 likes out of this photo.
This is really something. The transformer blew, and then, as I said, somebody said that they saw a person plunge 40 feet after getting shocked.
Are they okay?
As luck would have it, this guy should pay the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
An off-duty paramedic was standing there when he fell, and he was conscious and breathing immediately after the fall.
Okay.
Rescuers say that the power line at the top of the tower had 57,000 volts of electricity.
And he survived? That is shocking.
Oh. You have to think about the person.
Yeah.
I mean, who's going to do this? Like I said, climb the tower,
Mm-hmm.
get up there and then
Mm-hmm.
and then fall, get electrocuted. I mean,
be okay.
I mean, definitely this person is not grounded.
No, they are not.
Oh. On that happy note, welcome. It's Kim Commando Today. It's your fun podcast about all things digital. And this is not the Kim Commando Show. So many people, time and time again, ask me, what is the difference?
What is it?
The difference is that you're here
Mm-hmm.
because you're not on the show.
No.
That's on 500 odd stations.
No, I'm on the podcast,
You're on
the
the
Kim
podcast.
Commander Today podcast.
And also the other one is on, like I said, all those radio stations, and it's really more caller driven.
Mm-hmm.
We don't take calls here. So
No.
if you want to listen to calls, you want to be a caller, you got to go on the Kim Commando Show, and you can find your local affiliate over at commando.com, or you can go to Apple Spotify. That's like they're merging. I don't know if you heard that.
Give them a couple years. It'll be.
Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So I was expecting you to come in, Andrew, with a neck brace today.
No, I mean, I'm sore. My shoulders really hurt. But I missed the show on Friday because someone decided at freeway speeds to try and attempt to drive through my vehicle on the freeway. What happened was I was trying to get on the 51. This is like a little highway in the middle of our town to get here.
Right.
And when the 10 meets the 51, it's always convoluted.
It's a mess.
It is.
It's
it really
a total
is.
mess.
And so I am always very aware when I'm there. And I see a car 4 car lengths ahead jump over because they're like, oh, there's my exit. I better just go. And so everybody slams on their brakes. I slam on my brake. I had about 15 feet of space in front of me. And then like 5 seconds later,
boom,
this car just plows in the back of me. Some teenagers, so I'm expecting they were probably on their phone and not paying attention. But yeah, my they towed it away. The whole back fell off. Once they put it on the tow truck.
Did it really?
The whole back just.
So now, is the car totaled?
I don't know. They have to do the insurance adjusters. And the insurance won't do anything. Well, we don't know if we're at fault yet. You don't know if you're at fault?
Okay, I got hit in the back.
I was parked on the freeway and someone plowed into me.
What
You
kind
think
of
it was
car?
my fault?
What kind of car did the other person have?
Some kind of Ford. It was weird because they wouldn't get off the freeway. They wouldn't get over. They just sat there in the middle of the freeway.
Oh, so you had all the traffic and everybody staring at you like you dumb idiots?
I disconnected. And then when I pulled away, because I was like, I don't know if this is even drivable, you could hear the 2 cars becoming unmangled. It was just... And I got over. So I was safe, and B, I wasn't blocking any traffic, and he just sat there. And then the cops show up, and the cops close off traffic, and they get in his car, and they drive his car to the side. So I don't know if he was scared or what.
He was scared. Sounds like he was scared.
Probably. But they got him over. And then another thing that was kind of funny is that he was about 200 yards behind me. So I'm sitting here and the other car that hit me is sitting here. And the police officer has his SUV in between. And I know it's for safety reasons, but it was so funny because he would get in his car and drive up to me and get out and talk to me.
He?
And then he would get in his car and back up to the other guy.
Because so many cops have gotten hit.
Oh, yeah. I know it's for safety.
Right.
But yeah, then they towed my car away and now I'm driving a station vehicle. I work for iHeartRadio and they were kind enough to give me a station vehicle.
That's your whip.
Yeah. And you know what? When you're driving a wrapped vehicle, especially one that has huge logos and clouds all
Everybody
over
smiling?
it. Oh, they're just staring at you the whole way.
Okay. Is your face on the side of the vehicle?
No, the name of our show, Beth and Friends, is, and then big logo, KEZ 99.9. But yeah. I'm
That
driving
is
around
so funny.
a station vehicle right now.
There was for a long time there was a big billboard of me on KABC on the 405 freeway,
right?
And then I think I'm still wrapped on a few vans throughout the country.
So you'd be driving in from the airport, and the Uber driver pick you up, and the guy, hey, is that you?
I would actually point it out.
Oh.
What, isn't that a great billboard? Oh my gosh!
Of course.
And then he'd like, wait.
Yeah. You couldn't stand them not noticing it.
No, of course not. You know how long I've worked to have my face on a billboard?
I would probably do it too.
You would. All right, so what do you got coming up today?
We have some AI issues. I owe you an apology, first of all.
Why?
You want to save it for the segment?
Yes, save it.
Okay, I owe you an apology. And then a lot of people are upset with AI taking their voices away.
Well, I'm glad that you lived from the car accident so you could apologize to me today.
Priorities. I'm going to die right after this show, right after I give you the apology.
No, I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah.
I was worried about you.
I'm sore. That's it.
Because that's so unusual for you not to come to a show. I mean, it's like.
Yeah, I don't miss work. I never do.
Uh-uh.
At iHeart, I have like literally 600 sick hours saved up.
Hey, if you haven't already, make sure that you enter to win the brand new iPhone 15. That's winfromkim.com. Once again, winfromkim.com. All right, here are the top 5 things you need to know about tech. It's happening right now. Number 1, shocker.
What?
Another data breach.
No.
Yes.
I thought these were so rare.
Medical data breach.
Another medical.
2.4 million people. But wait, this one happened in 2023. We just found out about it this morning.
Well, I haven't done anything medical since 2023. I'm sure no one else has, so we probably didn't even notice.
No, not at all.
Are they targeting these medical? This is the third one that we found out about.
Well, the other ones happened this year. This one actually happened between April 18th and April 23rd of 2023, but we're just now hearing about it.
What took them so long?
I think they were trying to figure out, do we really need to tell people about this?
How long can we keep this a secret?
Now, this is the most interesting part. Okay. Your name, contact information, date of birth, date of death, social security number, and insurance information was all in this data breach from Texas-based WebTPA.
Okay.
And they provide administrative services to health benefit plans and insurance companies. Okay. So that's what they had.
Right.
Name, contact information, date of birth, date of death, social security number, and insurance information.
Can I make a prediction? Can I say the company said, don't worry, because really no personal data got out?
Exactly.
Yay, I win.
Company president Lisa Tranberg, she says that the potential damages appear to be limited.
For them.
Okay, this is her exact quote. We're not aware of any misuse of your information as a result of this incident.
Oh, it is an incident.
It's an incident.
This is not even close to being a debacle. It's just an incident.
Okay, here's what else Lisa says. Okay. Lisa is really good at corporate speak. If we ever need anybody, I'm calling Lisa. Okay. Your financial information, such as your financial account information, credit card numbers, and treatment and diagnostic information were not impacted.
At all.
No.
You're fine. Don't worry about
it.
You said social security numbers. This twit goes out there and says that whenever they have 2.3 million social security numbers.
Don't worry about it. They didn't get your credit card number.
Holy buckets. Have you watched the documentary on Netflix about the hack of Ashley Madison?
No.
You should watch it. It's pretty good. It's pretty interesting how companies go into crisis mode and they are all about self-preservation and they do not care about the customer at all.
Ashley Madison, you have to explain what Ashley Madison is.
And it's a website where married people can go and can hook up. Correct. And they walked into work one day and their entire computer system was hijacked. And the hackers basically said, close the website down, You have 30 days, or I will release everything. All the identities, the true, real identities. Yes. But they were so worried about, we got to save this company because they were about to have an IPO. And they're like, we have to save this company.
Don't tell me. I want to watch it.
Sorry.
What's it called?
All right. Ashley Madison, Sex, Lies, and Scandal.
Okay, because don't be the spoiler. I hate when that happens.
I mean, it did happen like 7 years ago. That's like you going, oh my God, don't tell me if the Titanic sinks or not. I mean, it was out there. It was in the news.
Barry ever tell you when we went to the movies and saw the Apollo movie?
Right.
And so it's like, it's the crescendo of the movie. And they're like, wondering what's going to happen to this Apollo mission.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually said to him, do they make it back?
Were you serious? You didn't know the ending?
And everybody around was like, oh my gosh.
I watched this thriller about the Civil War. I can't wait to see how it ends.
But Ashley Madison, there's a funny story attached to that too. So we had some folks from a company who said like they could personalize emails.
Right.
Which would be good, for all of our 500,000 people that get the newsletter, so that we could actually pick content from the website that they'd be interested in.
Okay.
So they said, Kim, can we look at your browsing history in order to do that? Okay. So now in this whole conference room is like, a couple of really team members, vice president, Barry, me, and they're given the whole presentation about how they can do this because it was super expensive.
Okay.
And so they pull up my browsing history, and on there was Ashley Madison.
Really?
Yes. And so everybody's looking at me like going, and Barry doesn't know what Ashley Madison is. He thinks it's like a cookie company, And so everybody's like looking at me. I'm like, and it was, honestly, I was just research. It was just research.
We all believe you.
It was just research. Facebook Marketplace robberies are on the increase, coming in at number 2. They bait you with cars and sneakers, and then they jump you when you show up to sell it.
Yay.
Okay, so always bring a buddy. Maybe do the transaction at a police station.
I'm going through this. I'm trying to sell I had a very expensive stroller in my garage. This is like a $480 stroller. My kids are old. I don't need it. And on Mother's Day, I was like, you know what? I'm going to put it up on Facebook for $20.
See what happens.
Give a mother a great Mother's Day gift. Or if someone could buy it for a new mother or something like that.
Yes.
I have had 1,900 requests to buy it, and I still haven't sold it.
Why? Because they're just scammies?
I don't know. It's like, I'm interested.
Just donate it to a women's shelter or something. I should. Like that.
Yeah. It's such a headache. 1,900 people have clicked on it.
Okay, for $20, just donate it.
Yeah.
That's what I did. We were actually at the state fair once, and Ian was probably about 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw this like 16-year-old mother with like 2 kids, and the baby daddy standing there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, here, take my stroller. I'm like, just, you can have it.
He doesn't need it anymore.
He doesn't need it anymore.
We're teaching him how to drive next weekend.
Exactly. Don't buy a new iPhone.
Okay.
Because we're giving one away. Aside from that, is that Apple is now offering higher trading credit for old iPhones until June 3rd. Okay. The deal is for in-store purchases towards any iPhone 15.
You just told me not to buy one, but I'm getting better in-store credit. Why wouldn't I buy it if I'm getting more credit?
They're just trying to wipe out the inventory. That's all they're trying to do. Because iOS 15 is coming out at the WWDC in June.
Right.
It always doesn't feel like it. Doesn't it like the WWE, the WWDC. You see like Tim Cook sitting there like wrestling somebody.
Yeah, he's going to come out. Hey, brother, we got AI in our new technology of the phones, brother.
They're talking about maybe not calling it the iPhone anymore.
The AI phone. Gosh.
Yep. The AI phone 16 coming in September. It's a good thing that you have me around to tell you all this stuff.
I appreciate that.
You want to say please and thank you coming in at number 4 when you are using chatbots.
Okay.
Research actually says this past week that if you're rude, the AI responds like a rude human being.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, here's the crap you wanted, stupid.
I want to try it just for once to see what happens.
Hey, jerk. Write me a
face.
script for this computer product.
So right before here, we have some clients coming in on July 31st.
Okay.
And so Tracy and I are talking. And I said, we should have them like over the house for like a cocktail at sunset so they can see the whole city because they're from Europe. And so I say to Siri, like, when is the sunset? She's like, I'm unable to say that. So I go over to ChatGPT. It's like, it's going to be estimate 7:30 p.m.
And that's real time?
Yes.
Nice.
All right. And finally, this. Not that you need it, but let's say you and Jennifer decide that you want to have kids.
Right.
But Jennifer doesn't have you. So Jennifer decides that she wants to have more kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she's going to go onto Facebook
To find children?
to find sperm.
Oh, God, that's a bad idea.
Okay. So there are now Facebook groups dedicated for sperm donors. So you could just go onto these Facebook groups, and these guys are all on there saying, like, for $20, $100, free, whatever it might be, is that you can get a bunch of my little swimmies, guys.
Uh-huh. And they just send you a bucket of the stuff and you're good to go?
Yes. But here's what's happening. I thought this was interesting. States that don't have clear laws, even though if the mom and the donor has a contract,
Mm-hmm.
Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio, listen to this, and other states, is that if it's not clear in that you donate your sperm,
Mm-hmm.
she gets pregnant.
I'm the dad.
Yep.
Financially responsible.
100%
Oh
child
my
support.
Gosh, what a scam.
Yes, child support. So, so like 3 years, 5 years, 12 years from now,
Right.
she could say, hey, listen, need my money.
Right.
And
It's your kid. Why don't you ever take care of your kid?
And so I actually went on one of the groups because I was interested.
Yeah,
Not me.
Right after you went on Ashley Madison.
No, it's kind. I have to know about this stuff. It's one thing reading about it. It's another thing you're actually like looking at it.
Right.
And sometimes it's really weird because, like, on Ashley Madison, I actually knew somebody who was like there with a profile. So the question is, like, do you tell his wife or you just?
No. None your business.
I didn't, but I did set up a fake profile,
Mm-hmm.
and I did say to him, "I know you work at KTAR."
What was your fake profile name? Like Abagnale Beauregard or something like that? So what was happening on the Facebook groups?
Well, they have all these ads up, and it's kind of weird. It's like guys like are talking about how they've had like 3 kids or they have no kids and they're trying to populate the world and
Gross.
they're trying to do the world and how they ship it. Stuff like that, like, tall,
And they're doing all this for $20?
intelligent, and then people leave comments like, I saw this one. Wait till you get a load of this guy.
That's really good. Wait till you get a load of me.
It's gross.
You're a podcast listener, and this is a podcast ad. Reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Lips and Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a reproduced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience with Lips and Ads. Go to lipsandads.com now. That's LIBSYN ads.com.
Hey, it's Kim Commando today. It's your fun podcast about all things digital. And just a quick reminder, make sure that you enter to win a brand new iPhone 15 over at winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. And there is a catch. There's always a catch.
Always.
The catch. I mean, somebody's just not going to hand you a free iPhone 15 worth $799.
Yeah, but the catch is so simple and easy.
Yes, you just get one issue, or actually a few issues.
Yeah.
Of my free news. We used to say one, and then we had like 10,000 bots that entered
So
in
you
like
have
2
to-
minutes.
You
Okay.
got to fight the internet. It's a nonstop fight against the internet.
All right. So one of the really wonderful things that Maddie does for us
Mhm.
is she can book the greatest guests.
Mhm.
She has such a talent for this. And so she came into my office and she said, I think I got Frank to come on the show. I'm like, Frank who? She said,
Sinatra?
Frank, no, he's dead. Frank Abagnale. And
Catch Me If You Can.
I know. And I was
I
like,
love that movie.
oh, so good. I mean, you know what? And his life is so fascinating. I mean, of course, Leonardo DiCaprio portrayed him. And during the 60s and 70s, Frank says he masqueraded a Pan Am pilot to get free flights. That was amazing. Really was. A doctor in Georgia
Mhm.
for a year.
When he was like a teenager, walking around pretending to be a doctor.
Yes. And then a lawyer in Baton Rouge.
And all this was just to cash fake checks.
A professor at Brigham Young University.
He looks Mormon.
You think?
Leonardo DiCaprio? Sure.
I mean, a lot of people think I'm Mormon.
Do they?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm so wholesome.
Oh, okay. Then they talk to you.
F you. Frank's cashed over $2.5 million in fraudulent checks while he was still a teenager. And then the FBI was he got caught.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been on the right side of the law for so many years. And he's been working as a security consultant. Do you know, I watched one of his videos on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
He had just a few more views than we have.
What do you have? Like 30,000, 35,000?
Go higher.
3 million?
15 million.
That's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot.
15 million views. So joining us now is Frank Abagnale. And we're going to talk about AI scams. Hi there, Frank.
Hi, nice to be with you.
Thank you. So did you ever foresee AI being used in scams?
No. As a matter of fact, the things that I did 50 years ago as a teenager today are 4,000 times easier when I did it 50 years ago. So I am surprised every day that if you had told me that 50 years ago, I would have said that's impossible. But technology has made many of the things I did so much easier to do today.
Is that right? Because I would think that it would be easier years ago because we didn't have all the checks and balances and computer databases.
Right. And back then, they wouldn't have all the technology that we have today to catch you.
Well, for a quick example is when I printed checks years ago, you saw in the movie, that took $1 million printing press. And there were color separations and negatives and plates and typesetting and a lot of time and skill. Today, you just open your laptop, you put a design of a very sophisticated check up on your screen. You go to some corporate website, you capture their logo, you put it on the check, and then you basically design this perfect check online in about 15 minutes. But 50 years ago, you would have said to me, so Frank, how do you know Pan Am's bank account? I don't know. I'm just using a bunch of numbers. Well, how do you know where they bank? I don't know that. I just make up a bank's name. Well, finally, how do you know who the authorized signer of Pan Am checks are? I have no idea. So
That's
I just
true.
put Jack Smith. But today we live in a too much information world. So if I just called the company and I asked to speak to someone in accounts receivables and tell them I'd like to pay an invoice and would like to wire them the funds, they tell me where they bank, their account number, their routing number. And if I call back and ask to speak to someone in corporate communications and ask for a copy of their annual report, they'll send it to me. But on page 3 is a signature of the chairman of the board, the CEO, the CFO, the treasurer, the controller, white glossy paper, black ink, camera-ready art. So today it takes 15 minutes, what used to take hours and hours years ago. And I would say this is the same when it comes to social engineering. When I did it at 16, of course, I didn't know I was social engineering anybody, but I basically called Pan Am, said that I was a pilot, and I was on layover in New York, and I'd sent my uniform out to be dry cleaned, and now the cleaner in the hotel couldn't find it. And I needed to get a uniform because I had a flight in 6 or 7 hours. He told me immediately where to go, what to sign, what forms I needed, who to see. But back in those days, there was only one form of communication, and that was a telephone. Today, of course, there's emails, text messages, the internet. So social engineering has become a lot easier even today.
You know what? That's an interesting angle on that, Frank, because I really would have thought it would have been so much easier in the past because we didn't have all the checks and balances. You know, the thing that really concerns me is when we start talking about AI, are all the deep fakes and how a scammer can, like, I'm sure you heard the story. It happened in Europe where some CFO got a phone call from somebody who said, hi, I'm the CEO. I need you to transfer $250,000, $1 million. And it actually sounded like his boss. And it's not like you're going to say to your boss, okay, are you sure you want to do that?
As you know, about 2 months ago, CNN reported that in Hong Kong, there was a multinational company, and supposedly they got an email from the CEO to the accounting department. He was located at different headquarters. He said, I need to have a meeting in the boardroom at 1:00. So the accounting staff went down there. The big screen came on. There was the CEO and the CFO. They spent about 30 minutes explaining that they were getting ready to buy a new company and they needed to set aside $25 million and told them to move that money to this account. They did, only to find out that was all AI, but it was their picture, their voice. I mean, it looked very real to them.
So how do you make sure that you're not taken? I mean, like I've heard you say several times, I think it's so smart, is that you have to think like a criminal, but today it's really so sophisticated that it seems like every time I turn around that there's a new scam out now where if you post a selfie online, that the scammers are using those pictures of selfies to put on a fake driver's license, that then they're going to figure out some piece of property that you own. Hopefully that it's not occupied. It's normally looking for land. Then they go out and they sell that land. And then, I mean, it's
never ending.
Yes. It just keeps going on and on.
Well, I have been on the lecture circuit for over 48 years, and I believe that I've had the same philosophy from day one. It's based on 3 simple points. 1, prevention, because once you lose your money, you will probably never get your money back. They may arrest them, they may send them to jail for 10 years, but it's not likely you get your money back. Verification, because today anything can be replicated, duplicated, counterfeited, deep-faked, AI. So before you part with any money or you part with any information, you absolutely need to know who's on the other end of that device. And I think that word verification going forward, that's going to be the most important word to fighting scams and cybercrime. And finally, education. Education is the most powerful tool to fighting crime. If I can explain to you how the scam works and you understand it, then you will not fall victim to that scam. So we're going to have to educate people. People are basically honest, thank God. But because they're honest, they're very naive. And they have no idea that when I call and I start to turn the conversation around or I use social engineering, they have no idea what AI is capable of doing and what people can do with AI. We're going to have to do a much better job of educating the general public about these things in order to help protect the public.
So if 16-year-old Frank was 16 in 2024 instead of back in the 60s, would you, and you still wanted to con people, would you look at all the technology and still want to write bad and fake checks? Or how do you think you would do it?
That's a good question.
I think, first of all, it would be amazing the checks I could create with AI. It would also be amazing all the identification. I mean, back when I made up a phony Pan Am ID, this was all pasting letters and putting pictures and then putting it in a plastic card.
Did you really take the toy plane and put it in the tub so that you could pull off the logo? You really did that?
Off to put the decal on there.
Insane. That's insane.
Which looked very awesome for back then. But also I realized the uniform is what sold it. It wasn't anything. They saw the uniform. They paid no attention to me. They paid no attention to the check. They only saw the image in the uniform. And I realized the power of the uniform very early on. But think about today that I can replicate passports. I can replicate any kind of credentials. I can replicate them online or offline. So I think we're just at the very, very threshold of AI, and all the things that people can do with it are really limited only to the criminal's imagination. I believe that technology breeds crime. It always has, and it always will. Then there will always be people who use technology in a negative, self-serving way. So they're going to take this technology and find all these different ways they can use it in order to help themselves to other people's money.
So how do we protect ourselves today, Frank?
I think the first word I tell everybody, I wrote the book Scam Me If You Can. That was very interesting for me because I've spent my entire career dealing with crimes against governments, financial institutions, and corporations. I did nothing about consumer-related crimes. Then a few years ago, AARP hired me as a consultant for a few years. I worked with AARP to help them fight crimes against the elderly. And when I was done, I wrote the book Scam Me If You Can about consumer-related scams. And I gave all the proceeds, the royalties, the advance to AARP so they could continue to fight the crimes against the elderly. But when I finished that book, I was absolutely amazed that, first of all, millennials are scammed far more often than seniors, but seniors lose more money because they have more money to lose. And 2, that in every scam I wrote about, whether it was the amateur scams, the grandparent scam, the sweepstakes scam, the IRS scam, or whether it was very sophisticated crypto scams and bank scams, insurance scams, there were 2 red flags. And these scams couldn't work unless at some point the red flag was going to show up. And I always tell people the first red flag is I'm going to ask you for money, but it has to be right this second. Mrs. Jones, give me your credit card number. Mrs. Jones, give me your bank account number. Mrs. Jones, stay on the phone. Don't hang up. Get in your car, go down to Walmart, get a green dot card, come back out in the parking lot, read me the number. Has to be right now. That is a huge red flag. And the other red flag is at some point I'm going to ask you for information. In romance scams, you have a 70-year-old woman. She lost her husband. She has no children.
Lonely.
She meets this man online. She's lonely. And for a year, this is the nicest man in the world. He sends her flowers on her birthday. He calls her and checks her. He never asks for anything because a good con man always waits for you to open the door, no matter how long it takes. So sooner or later, she says to him, so Bob, you've known each other about a year. How come you don't come see me? You only live 2 states away. Well, Helen, I would, but I have to have an operation and I don't have insurance. And it's $30,000. And if I don't get the operation, I don't know that I'm going to make it. Well, I could give you the $30,000. That's the red flag. You don't know this person. You never met this person. You didn't solicit the invitation to meet this person. And this is where I tell people you have to stop and verify. Now, I will share this with you, and this was the scariest thing writing this book. I put in the book that there are con men so good that they are capable of putting people, what I referred to as under the ether. And once you go under the ether, there's no coming back.
Wow.
And that's the daughter telling her mother, Mom, this is a scam. How many times do I have to tell you? You've already sent this man $15,000. You don't know what you're talking about. He and I have a good relationship. We're good friends. 2 weeks later, Mom, this is an FBI agent from the resident office. He's already convicted this guy 3 times for the same thing. Here's all the paperwork. He wants to share this with you. No. You know, you have a bad impression of him. No, he's a good guy. That's really scary because when you go under the ether, there's no coming back.
You know what? I've taken calls like that on the show, Frank. A standout is this guy that actually gave $450,000 to somebody who he thought was going to help him make a lot of money in cryptocurrency. I mean, and I tried to explain to him, like, this is not legit. I mean, this is called pig butchering. You're the pig, you're getting butchered. And he just wouldn't believe me. I mean, it was like, I was like, even why are you calling me? If you don't want to know the truth, but no matter what I said, he had a way to counteract it. And I tried to explain to him that they're showing you these cryptocurrencies trades. All this is done on a video. This is not happening in real time. And he's like, yeah, but I made from $5,000 to $15,000. I'm like, you try to get your money out. Try to get your money out, and then call me back. Never heard from him.
No, exactly. And it's the same way where you have a man who tells you that you keep sending them money because why? Well, I won this Mercedes, but they say I have to pay this tax and transportation. Yeah, but you've already sent them more money than a Mercedes costs. So why wouldn't you just go buy the Mercedes? And besides that, did you enter the sweepstakes? No. Well, then how did you win the sweepstakes? It's very scary when you can't get to people that they've been so conned and scammed that they don't believe what you're telling them.
Have you found any way to break through to them? Because I'm curious if I get the call again. Is there anything that you can say?
I find a lot of times that even an FBI agent or a person will ask me, will you speak to my mother? Will you speak to my father? And I absolutely say, of course I will, whether it be on a Zoom call or whether I talk over the phone. They know who I am.
For sure.
I say, look, sir, first of all, anybody can be scammed. The most intelligent people in the world get scammed. I could be scammed, no question about it. But this is a scam. And I'm telling you, from my perspective, that this is a scam. Well, because I'm not the policeman, I'm not the judge, I'm not the social worker, I'm the guy who did these things, and they tend to pay attention to me, and then sometimes they'll drop it.
Well, Frank, I'm so glad that you spent some time with us. I'm hoping that the conversation that we just had is going to help a lot of people kind of sit back and reevaluate where they are. Because I'm not kidding you. Every other day, I feel like I'm getting something from someone who, whether it's like you mentioned, the car, the sweepstakes, the tech support scam, the crypto scam, whatever it may be. I mean, it's just the romance scam, or I met this beautiful woman online. I got this one recently. I looked the guy up. Let me tell you something. He doesn't look like he should be with a 19-year-old Russian. Okay. I mean, but somehow he thinks like she's going to move to Dothan, Alabama, which is not going to happen. He's like 68 or he was like something like that. But he's crazy.
Let me share this for both of you. The most common email I get, and I get hundreds of emails, I can't answer them all, but they're young boys who simply say to me, I was online and I met this beautiful girl. And after a while, she sent me some nude pictures of her. And then she said for me to send her some nude pictures of me. I did. And within an hour, she comes back and says, either send me $2,000. I'm going to put these pictures on Facebook and out at everybody at your school. One kid said I had money saved up from the summer, so I got so scared I sent her the $2,000. And then she comes right back and says, send me another $4,000. So I finally had to go to my dad and tell him what happened. Again, I don't think we do a good job of educating young people in school. This is like years ago when I said, these kids don't know how to write a check. They go off to college. They don't know the first thing about filling out a check. They don't know the first thing about handling finances and getting good credit and keeping good credit. Well, this is the same thing today, 20 years later. We're not teaching these kids of all the threats on the internet and how to use the internet safely. And we need to do a much better job of that.
Instead of teaching them cursive writing.
Teach them how not to get scammed.
Well,
exactly.
Once again, Frank, thanks for being here. Really, really
and Kim,
appreciate it.
I have to tell you, I normally don't do interviews, but I have such tremendous respect for you. I read your articles. You have done some amazing things to help people, and you continue to do that. So it was an honor and a pleasure for me to be part of your show.
You know what? Thanks. Because Maddie told me that. Maddie came in. She's like, Frank says he normally doesn't do any interviews, but he's going to do it for you because he likes you. And you know what? That meant so much to me. And it means a lot that you just told me that because it's a labor of love. I mean, I want to help people. I really want to make a difference. I want to leave a legacy that shows that I was able to have some type of change. And
you've done that.
It means a lot that you see that. Thank you.
Well, thank you both for having me. It was a pleasure.
What a nice man.
Yes. It's funny that we were talking about these scams. I was just talking about to my good friend Barack Obama on Facebook. He and I are working on some big money deal, but he said that anybody could get scammed, and he's right. The president was right.
Really? Was it? Like,
yeah, we're besties.
I thought you were talking to Bill Clinton.
He's old news. It's all about Barack, baby.
You're a podcast listener, and this is a podcast ad. Reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Lips and Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a reproduced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience with Lips and Ads. Go to lipsandads.com now. That's LIBSYN ads.com.
Hey, it's Kim Komando today. I'm so glad that you're here because let me tell you, if you just heard that interview with us and Frank Abagnale, oh my gosh, you want to make sure that you actually see the interview. Head over to youtube.com/Kim Komando. That's youtube.com/Kim Komando because this is a true multimedia experience.
Ooh, that sounds fancy when you say it that way.
Isn't it? I mean, you can get the audio podcast, which means like when you're running around getting your stuff done, or you can watch the video podcast. And when you watch the video podcast, you get to see me.
Yeah. Win-win.
And I got my hair cut.
Great. It looks great.
All right. What do you got?
I got first to start out with an apology. Last week, you had mentioned that ChatGPT had went to ChatGPT 4.40.
For Omni, yes.
Yeah. And then you said it was going to be available to everyone. And I was like, no, it's not. I went on and it was, well, today I went on and this pop-up says, we have chat for, click here to turn it on. And so it is available for free, even on the web version.
It's so hard to be right.
Everyone. I don't know why the timing didn't work, but I just want to apologize.
Thank you.
You were correct. There's a couple of stories actually about AI. We mentioned when we were talking about ChatGPT 4.0 last week that the voice of the Sky program, which is the voice interactive part of ChatGPT, sounded a lot like Charlotte Johansson.
It did.
And they came out and said, listen, we went out and we found voice actors. And the person that is the voice, now there's multiple voice options with the Sky ChatGPT, but this is their normal voice. They're not trying to sound like Scarlett Johansson. This is just how they speak. It's just an actor that we hired. Oh, by the way, we're pulling that voice option from it because it sounds way too much like Scarlett Johansson.
Whoopsies.
Yes. So they're pulling that off so there won't be an option. They said they're working on it, but I definitely think that means that voice will never be back. And they were trying to get her voice from the movie Her, and they got caught doing it. The other story.
Yes.
There are 2 voice actors that are filing lawsuits because they say their voices were stolen by AI and used as voiceovers. I'm going to play them.
Okay.
There's 2 different. There's a male and a female.
Okay.
I'm going to play the real voice, and then I'm going to play the AI version of their voice. And I want you to be the judge, and you tell me if they have a case. So we'll start with Paul.
Hi, my name is Paul Skylerman. I'm a professional actor and voiceover artist.
So that's his real voice.
Okay.
This is who he's accusing of stealing his voice.
Introducing Jenny by Lovo. Artificial intelligence that makes it fast and easy to create voiceovers for marketing, e-learning, documentaries, animations, games, audio.
That's pretty dead on.
Yes.
I mean, that really sounds like him. And it wouldn't be hard for these AI companies just to download every single video he's ever posted online and then just have the algorithm and the software make his voice. So we have another one. This is the female voice actress.
Hi, my name is Linnea Sage, and I'm a voiceover artist. This is my normal speaking voice, but this is the corporate and commercial speaking voice that I use in most of my voiceover.
This is the AI version of her.
Our certified teachers are ready to help your son or daughter conquer their fears of reading, writing, arithmetic, and more.
I can hear. I think I hear the cadence.
Yes,
to be the same.
The inflection's a little bit the same,
right?
But not as much as Paul.
Exactly.
Now we will never hear. I'm pretty sure the company that they are suing will just settle because of how similar the voices are. So I don't know if we'll ever hear a resolution to this. But both of them have gotten together and they are suing the AI company for stealing their voices. I'm
just going to put it out there.
Yes.
Okay. If anybody is watching, listening from OpenAI, I have a very nice, soothing voice. Right. It's a confident voice. It's a, sultry voice. It's something that I think ChatGPT would benefit from.
It's also an expensive voice.
I'm not saying it's like overly expensive.
Right, but it's not cheap.
It's not cheap.
No.
Not cheap. So if you're watching and you're listening and you're thinking like, that really should be the voice of OpenAI,
mm-hmm.
Just go over to commando.com. There's a link that says Ask Kim, and you can ask me how much. I mean, I think it should be worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say.
Of course you do.
I mean, what do you think?
Can I be your agent? Because I'll stand right behind you and be like, yeah, it's really expensive. This is one of the best voices ever on the radio.
How much are you going to charge?
8%?
Oh, that's too much.
What?
Yeah. Okay.
I went lower than 10.
Okay. What if I said I wanted
much.
$10 million a year?
Right. 8%'s chump change for you.
Okay. What? No, you're supposed to say no. It's worth more. See, that's where you suck as an agent. You're supposed to try to get me more money. You're supposed to say, Kip, 10 million is like nothing. 10 million. We should go for like 30 million. We go for 25 million.
If they're going to say yes to 10, let's just take it.
No.
Yeah.
No. First of all, he who mentions price first loses every time.
Well, you mentioned price first. That's why we lost.
They didn't send me an email yet.
15 million? They're good.
Higher.
This is hard.
You're a podcast listener, and this is a podcast ad. Reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Lips and Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a reproduced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience with Lips and Ads. Go to lipsandads.com now. That's LIBSYN ads.com.
Hey, it's Kim Commando today, and if you ever want to ask me a question on my radio show, that would be really fun for us to have just a little chit-chat. Just go to that Ask Kim button over at commando.com. That's KOMANDO, commando.com. Hit that Ask Kim button. Make sure that you like,
comment,
share,
follow,
subscribe.
Easy.
Whatever it is.
Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead.
Woman on TikTok posted a video of, got 30 million views. She was stuck in her own Tesla.
No way.
Yes.
Guys, I'm literally a moron. I'm a moron. Updating my car.
Is she in
By
Phoenix?
the way, it's been updating for the past 30 minutes. It says it's only supposed to chart or update for 24 minutes. And when your car is updating, you are stuck in your car if you activate it when you're in here.
So she's at a Chick-fil-A parking lot.
And now I'm stuck in my car.
She's at a Chick-fil-A parking lot. She decides, I'm going to go ahead and update the car, the Tesla, the software, run inside, eat my food. When I come out, we'll be good to go.
But you can't get out.
She starts the update, locks her in. She can't get out. She was in there for 40 minutes. The temperatures in the car got to 115 degrees.
There's no like emergency release?
There absolutely is. But she was too busy posting on TikTok and responding to comments to reach over to the door and pull the handle.
I was going to say.
Yes. On the Model Ys, it's a manual handle. It doesn't look like it's there because Tesla doesn't want to look like it has a handle.
Okay, she's a moron.
She's a moron.
She said she was a moron at the beginning.
She also got 30 million views.
Okay, did she make any money off of that?
Probably.
Nah.
I don't know.
Okay, so I really am enjoying Reels.
Okay.
And Shorts.
Is this your first time you've moved over?
Yeah, I think it is.
So why are you picking Reels and Shorts on YouTube and Instagram and not actually TikTok?
Because I have this whole thing against TikTok and the Chinese stealing my
all right.
stuff.
So security reasons.
And then, if I'm going to use TikTok, I have to put on another phone because I don't want them to get all of my voice prints, face prints, everything that I'm doing. So it's just easier just to go on Instagram.
And it's pretty much the same content. People are just posting it everywhere.
Okay. So now this video is very visual.
Okay.
So if you are listening to the audio version of Kim Komando today, I encourage you to go to youtube.com/Kim Komando. Just go ahead, find this show. I'm sure Frank Abagnale is going to be in the title, and then just go all the way to the end and so you can see this video. Because when you buy vegetables, it always says like triple washed.
Okay, sure, yeah.
And you're like, okay,
like the bags, not like you're getting it from the buckets at the grocery store, the pre-bag stuff.
Yeah, it says like triple wash. You don't have to wash it. You don't have to do anything. Well, here's a video that shows how they triple wash it.
Oh, I can't. I'm excited.
So there's carrots.
That's one wash. There's two.
Somewhere in South America, where they're taking the water from the river to triple wash that.
There's a lot of feet in there. It might have been 6 or 7 times washed.
Triple wash. I wash my vegetables.
Oh, yeah.
Time.
I got that soap, that spray bottle soap.
I don't have that spray bottle soap.
Yeah, go get it. It's Veggie Wash. It's easy.
Veggie Wash? I should sell that.
Of course.
And the
right to the money. Right to the money. Every time.
20 million.
This program is a copyrighted production of Westar Multimedia Entertainment and protected by the copyright laws. Any rebroadcast or use of this program for commercial, business, economic, or financial purposes without the written permission of Westar Multimedia Entertainment is strictly prohibited.